So one of the very contentious issues for this week is the Supreme Court hearing the SBI's application for acceptance of delay in filing the details that the Supreme Court had sought regarding the electoral bonds. Who are the names, or rather what are the names of the donors, and what was the denomination of the bonds, electoral bonds that was issued. SBI in his application says that they need more time. They need time till June 30 to collate the information between the donors and the parties that are receiving the or have received the electoral bonds. So this case likely to be heard on March 11. It is to be decided by the registry as well as the Chief Justice Dhananjay Chandrachud, who is the master of the roster. There are many people who know this is an important market moving event, but not many people want to discuss this in public. The slight delay on the part of the Supreme Court could also be because 3 of the 5 judges are hearing another case regarding tax or royalty for minors, and they are a part of a 9-member bench which is hearing that. So whether the Chief Justice decides to reconstitute the bench, and this is to be decided by a larger bench, so it has to be at least 5 members, and I believe the same judges which were there in the earlier constitution bench are to be put here. State Bank of India says that there is no central database that is maintained. There are 2 different silos, and the sealed envelopes are deposited in the State Bank of India Mumbai branch on Dalal Street. There are 22,217 electoral bonds issued, so there would be so many receipts as well. State Bank of India, SBI, with its over 48 crore branches, says that this will require cross-checking between the donors and the people who are the recipients of the bonds. Well, it's really difficult to understand why State Bank of India is finding it so difficult. Being a chartered accountant and an auditor myself, I think if you read, and also having a master's in law, all that they are requiring is that if you read the Supreme Court order, para 219 of that order, and there is small b and small c, the Supreme Court has passed the order with effect from 12/4/2019. It is all that it is asking is two things, that's all. For each donor, it wants to know what was the denomination of the date of the bond, and second, the date on which it was bought by that particular donor. That's simple, right? If I go and let us say, I can also buy an electoral. I did not. That's a different thing. But even if I had to, you just come to know what was the denomination of the bond that I bought and the date it was bought. Number 2 is the political party which received the donation, then what date the bond was received, and when was that amount, or the bond rather, deposited with the State Bank of India. I repeat, 2 things from the donor. What was the denomination of the bond and the date on which that electoral bond was bought. So let us say I gave a 10,000 to SBI to give me an electoral bond. These are bearer bonds, right? So what date did I buy them? My name, and what was the denomination of the bond. By the way, I'm repeating, I did not buy any bond. Number 2, political party which received the bond. Let us say it is ABC. So the date, let us say I bought the bond on 1st of March 2023, and I gave it to the party the next day, 2nd. So they received it on the 3rd. So they are required to, State Bank of India only to say that what was the political party, the date on which it received and the date on which it deposited with the State Bank of India. Now, SBI is saying it is difficult for us to collate the data between the donor and the political party. I don't understand what is this brouhaha about. Supreme Court is not asking any information about collating the two. Okay. It's not asking matching of the buyers of the electoral bonds and the political parties involved. So that means State Bank of India is trying to collate information which the Supreme Court is not asking at all. SBI is probably looking into issues which the Supreme Court has not raised at all. They are not asking collation. So where is the question of delay? All they are asking who bought the bond. So let us say Sunil Keval Ramani bought, which, okay, repeating, I didn't. But let us say, assuming for a minute, I did buy. Okay. So you just disclose the date. I went to SBI. Let's say I go to the SBI main branch in Mumbai, buy the bond, 10,000 rupee bond. So date I bought and the denomination 10,000. So I buy one bond of 10,000. Simple. Then they are asking the political party what date they deposited with the that same electoral bond I give to political party ABC. So I deposited with State Bank of India. That put it in Sunil Keval Ramani's State Bank of India account. That's simple. Where they're not collating. There's no, as an auditor and a chartered accountant, there's no collating. They're not asking that same bond with numerics X, Y, Z, A, B, C, Q, R, S, when Sunil Keval Ramani bought and when it was given to that electoral party, when did that electoral party then deposited with State Bank of India? Not asking that collation at all. Read para 219 of the Supreme Court. I hope we must give. I have all respect for the political parties, for the ruling government. You know, Modi ji has done a fantastic job. I would rather, at this point of time, I would like to give benefit of doubt to State Bank of India. Maybe there is something, a system issue which we are not aware of. If that is the case, Supreme Court will accept it. No problem. If for some reason the Supreme Court does not accept it, and they force them to pay, reveal the names, or reveal the data which they are seeking much earlier than State Bank of India is proposing, I think that can rattle the markets. At least some knee-jerk reaction, I think, should happen. Be careful this week. This is also the week where the Election Commission should, or now they've lost one more member, right? Yesterday, as you know. But so they have only one member commission, rather difficult. But technically, they are nearing the announcement of the official dates for the election. And the code of conduct will also come into force. But I don't know how they will do it with just one member commission left. For the Prime Minister to meet the leader of the opposition and then to get another person on the election commission is going to take some time at least. But all this is another issue. The electoral bond issue, assuming that there is this reconstituted bench, the same 5 people, this is the larger constitution bench which is going to hear the electoral bonds issue. Dhananjay Chandrachud, incidentally, he was also my professor. He taught me when I was doing my master's in law. So I know him, a very respected person. I'm sure he wants to bring this to a closure earlier. I still give the benefit of doubt to State Bank of India. It's one of the oldest and the most well-regarded institution. Do not wish to enter into any political controversy whatsoever. Give the benefit to the institution at this point. Should for some reason they being forced to disclose, some knee-jerk reaction could come in the markets. Get to know more, please do join our premium value group, which gives you one week predictions in advance. We have taken into account what are the likely possibilities and put it, or you can join the very simple package Mahashivratri special, where you get the daily predictions one day in advance. You can do that by WhatsApping us on 982-086-1044. भाई और बहनों, इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड की इशू का फिर से सुप्रीम कोर्ट हियरिंग करेगा. स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया ने एक्सटेंशन का डेट कोशिश किया है मांगने, लेकिन प्रशांत भूषण जी इंसिस्ट कर रहे हैं कि ये जो है ज़रूरत नहीं है. सिर्फ किसने बॉन्ड एप्लीकेशन दिए, क्या डिनोमिनेशन था, और पॉलिटिकल पार्टी कौन है जिसने रिसीव किए और किस दिन उन्होंने डिपॉजिट किए इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड. स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया यही वो मांग रहे हैं. वो स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया बोलता है कोलेशन कि कौन डोनर है और कौन पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है. ये दोनों का मैचिंग करने में हमको वक्त लगेगा जून 30 तक. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऐसा कोई ऑर्डर पास नहीं किया है. अगर आप सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर पढ़ेंगे तो पैरा 219 में आप स्मॉल बी और स्मॉल सी को ध्यान से पढ़े. सिर्फ पूछ रहे डोनर कौन और डिनोमिनेशन कितना. कि और दूसरा किसको मिला और किस दिन उसने डिपॉजिट किए बॉन्ड, ये मांग रहा है। कोलेट करने की बात भी नहीं कर रहा है। सुनील केवल रमानी ने लेके और कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी एबीसी को दिया, वो इन्फॉर्मेशन मांग ही नहीं रहा है। तो ये हो जाएगा। बहुत ओल्ड इंस्टीट्यूशन, रिस्पेक्टेड है स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया। इस वक्त हम उनको बेनिफिट ऑफ डाउट देंगे। किस वजह से? अगर वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऐसा कोई जजमेंट आ जाता है कि उनको फोर्स करते हैं आप जल्दी इसके नाम बताइए करिए, तो थोड़ा निजक रिएक्शन मार्केट में आने की संभावना है। ठीक है, हमने अपनी पॉसिबिलिटीज को डाल के और प्रेजेंट किए हैं। प्रीमियम वैल्यू आप ज्वाइन करिए हमारा ग्रुप, जो हफ्ते का प्रेडिक्शन एडवांस में देता है। या तो ये बहुत सिंपल है, महाशिवरात्रि स्पेशल, जो डेली प्रेडिक्शंस आपको देते हैं मार्केट का, ऑप्शन प्राइस, स्ट्राइक प्राइस, और बहुत ही खूबसूरत वे में आपको अच्छे स्टॉक रिकमेंडेशंस भी देते हैं, जो हफ्ते में ज़्यादा प्रोबेबिलिटी है जिसके अच्छे चलने की, फंडामेंटल बेस्ड अच्छी इन्फॉर्मेशन। बाकी आप लोगों को है अपना खुद का विश्लेषण नहीं भूलना करने के लिए, क्योंकि जरूरी है अपनी कीमती पैसे डालने से पहले खुद का विश्लेषण जरूर कीजिएगा। ठीक है, आप सब लोगों को फिर मैं यहीं पे इजाज़त लेता हूँ। ओम नमः शिवाय।